All right, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here on Monday. Again, some really impressive things that happened here in relation to our targets to the upside, right? A lot of these levels that we're projecting out up above us have become the high of the day for so many days in the market for the last couple months. It's kind of blowing me away. And same thing happened yesterday. So I do want to point out, not only yesterday, but the day before, if we go back to Friday of last week, they came right up to our expected resistance at 56.22, peeked through it by I think 4 points, and then you can see tagged it and then pulled back there going into the end of last week. So our first target to the upside was 22. They came right up, got the pullback right about where it was. And yesterday, I gave you guys a target up to 56.37, right? So that was the first level above the all-time high that we were making in the market here from the day before. And I told you coming into the open, as we were breaking out through the highs of Friday, that the next area that makes sense for resistance would be around 56.37. And then we have a couple more in there before we get up to some of the other levels further on. And so sure enough, the market opened yesterday. They came right to the level and they peeked through it by 1 or 2 ticks. I think it was 2 ticks. And then we got our pullback. So if you try to short from up there, you nailed the high of the day. If you were long out of the open, and notice what happened at the open here, got a bullish divergence off the fast moving average, a very aggressive trade setup. But if you jumped in off the FMA and you took profit at the high, you got yourself just about 10 points. It might have been 9 points if you took profit in front of it, 8 to 9 points there. But a really good trade out of the open. And then what happened? We started to fail right off that level and held the back end of the FMA, held the back end of the 200. There's your crossover. And then we got a little bit of a pullback. Now, on the way down, like I said, right here, that first tag of the 200 with the crossover was a decent opportunity with bearish divergence. If you got short from there, you actually captured the entire sell-off for the rest of the day. So great opportunity out of the open right to where you would want to take profit, and you would have got out and said, wow, good thing I got out, because the rest of the day we actually broke the low of the morning. And then you had this opportunity once it started to become clear that there was going to be a pullback. And notice what happened on that pullback. They tried to hold the 200 to the tick. They bounced right off of it. But then what happened? There was no strength. They held the FMA, bunch of divergences setting up in there, and then we got the pullback. So there's the bounce right off VWAP. Still, if you were a bull, you could have tried that trade, again, with divergence off the VWAP in a pullback in a bullish looking market. You could have tried it. It just didn't really go very far. And you should have known, if you did take it, to take profit right around the 200 in case this very scenario happens, because we see this happen all the time. Not only was it a tag of the 200, but it was this nice support that we got as we were pulling back off of the high of the day, right? So there's the first support, second, third, fourth, and then we come right up and we kiss it right off the 200 and continue to sell off. So you had an opportunity there to get short off the 200. It's a textbook setup there, and you would have captured basically 56.30 all the way down to the low of the day. And what was the low of the day, my friends? Well, once again, the holy orange power level rears its head and basically nails the low of the day for a pretty impressive rotation, right? This is another day where the holy orange power level, the only real proprietary level that we have in this trading system, becomes the major low of the day and a great opportunity with divergence, with bullish divergence right off the hopeful there, to get yourself a nice 10-point push right up to the high of the day before, or to the VWAP there at the end of the day. So in my opinion, you had a lot of good opportunities here, and as price was really starting to sell off and break down through the VWAP here, you even got that tag to the tick off the 200 and the VWAP. So if you missed that entry on the short side of things, You also had an opportunity to get short there for another 10 points to the downside, or maybe a little bit more than that. So, and if you would have taken profit right in front of Hopel there off that short, well, you got yourself again just about 10 points if you got out in front of it. And then you got out luckily right where you would have gotten stopped out if it came back, right? So in my opinion, yesterday, lots of perfect opportunities to make some money. And once again, it's not every day, and sometimes we have a couple days where stuff is a mess. But just another example, we nailed the high of the day. We gave you that level in the news report as the market was opening here. And you had your Hopel there nailing the low of the day. So another day where we nailed the high and we nailed the low almost perfectly. That brings us here into the overnight session and into our pre-market here. And as you can see, the bulls are still trying to push even higher now, pushing to new all-time highs in the overnight session with a nice little healthy pullback to bounce for all intents and purposes right off the 200 moving average. So that concludes the review from yesterday. Let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what they have in store for today.